Hello, strong people. Week 3, day 3 of America's Strongest Man Prep. I had to stop this. I tried to record this like a minute ago and I couldn't because I got something in my eye and I had no idea what it was. So instead of watching me fight with my left eyeball, my left contact lens for about a minute, I figured I'd just start over because I didn't say anything important. But yeah, week 3, day 3, America's Strongest Man Prep. Secondary press day. Circus dumbbell to start. So we got 6 sets of 3. In my head, I would love to hit comp weight. But based on last week's performance, pretty tall ask. But I feel much less sore today. It's now week 2 back to circus dumbbell, so I'm a little bit more familiar. So I don't know. I don't really know what to think. I would love to hit comp weight though. Even if it's just one set, I'll know for sure when I'm warming up, obviously. But I also need to make sure that my general technique, everything, positioning is all on point. Because there's no point in trying to go heavier if I if it feels clunky or off or I'm not nailing the reps like I should. So obviously that's priority warming up for circus dumbbell because it's not a movement I do often. And it's a movement where if your positioning is off at all, you're probably not going to get the rep. It's pretty hard to fight through a circus dumbbell rep. There's some people who can do it a little bit, but for the most part, it's kind of an all or nothing lift. So got to make sure everything's on point. So I don't know what I have after that. I know I have like lat pull downs and and I think floor press is another one. So I'm excited for that. I'm really excited for circus dumbbell though because I'm not nearly as sore as I was last week. I'm attributing that to the increase in protein. Literally like doubled my protein intake. It's been an interesting 24 hours or so. I didn't realize, so I got inside last night around 9:30, showered, kind of got ready to eat. We had like a meatloaf and some potatoes and corn. And I make my plate and I sit down and the power goes out. I'm like, why? Why right now? Apparently there was a power outage planned that I didn't know about. Also, it seems pretty silly to do it at night, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. I'd imagine there's some elderly people out there that need certain things to sleep at night. Seems like a weird time to do it. But anyway, I ate my dinner. I'm very short on protein at this point in time. I did not eat any protein during the day besides my lunch. So I had a lot of protein to make up. So I ate a bunch of meatloaf. I tracked that as best I could because it's obviously a little bit different than it's not just straight ground beef. So did the best I could with that. And then luckily I have a gas stove. So the igniter doesn't work, but you just get a lighter, turn on the flame. I was able to cook my egg whites, which honestly they're kind of filling for how much protein you get. So I ate a bunch of egg whites. It was like 50 grams of protein. I was like, it's not enough. So I did another 50 grams of protein in a big protein shake. And at this point now, because I haven't been trying to eat a ton of protein, it is now 1:45 midnight. So now I'm finally going to bed. I have the realization that my CPAP requires electricity. So I put on a nose strip like this to go to bed. I'm just struggling to fall asleep. One, I'm very full with food. Two, this is my first night without a CPAP. So I'm pretty much tossing and turning around till 1 a.m. 1 a.m. the power clicks on. I'm like, oh, awesome. Immediately threw on my CPAP, went to bed. So that was okay. Got as close to my protein goal as I could, which I fell a little bit short, but better than I was. So we fast forward to the morning. I get up. Pretty typical morning. Driving to work. There's about 19 stoplights on the way to my work once I get into town. I stop at the second to last one. I'm parked there, sitting at the red light. All of a sudden, I feel a bonk. So I know I just got rear-ended at this point. I then I turn and I get a second one. I'm like, what is happening? So when I felt the second one, I assumed that there was like a pileup happening, like cars were being pushed into me or something. I turn around to look and I can't see because the sun is directly behind me in the morning. So I don't know what's going on. I don't see anybody moving. So I kind of pull off to the gas station right across the street. Get out of my car. And I look over and I see the car that hit me. And it's like this old beat up Volkswagen, like plenty of damage, rust all over it. Like it's definitely been through some stuff. So, and I see there's a handicap sticker in the window. I'm like, oh, come on. So I know it's not some like idiot on their phone or anything. It's just someone who probably made a mistake. So I get out, I look at my car. There's literally like no damage. There's like a scuff of paint because they probably hit me going 10 miles an hour. Maybe that. But she finally pulls over. I come up to her window. Hopefully I'm not, I didn't really think about it, but hopefully I'm not like scaring her because it's like this sweet little old lady and I'm just this guy. I look like this and she just hit my car. So stereotypically you'd be like, this guy's going to rip my door open and punch me in the face. But obviously I didn't do that. So I asked her if she's okay. She is. She asked if I'm okay. I am. Check the cars. There's already damage on her car. I don't know how much was there before, but it wasn't really new. I couldn't tell what was new, what was old. So I wasn't going to report it or anything. It didn't really do enough damage for me to even care about. It's really not. I'll just get a clear coat pen or something and try to prevent the rust. But she looks for her insurance card just because I want it just in case. Can't find it. Gives me an insurance card for a different vehicle with her name on it. So I take that just so I at least have her information. And then I give her mine, whatever. Very, very nice lady. She was fine, so that was okay. But she said she tried to hit the brakes and they wouldn't work or something like that. So whatever it was fine. But I got rear-ended this morning, so that was cool. And then she asked me if I was going to work. I was like, yeah. She's like, where are you working? I'm like, oh, just right over there at so-and-so. She's like, oh, well, that's where I'm going later. I'm like, oh, okay. She's like, oh, I might see you there. And then starts trying to ask me questions regarding, what she's coming in for. I'm like, I can't do this right now. So eventually, like 2 hours later, I'm sitting at work, up at the window, and sure enough, there she is. And she just looks at me and she says, fancy seeing you here. And I just laugh because that was pretty funny. She leaves, comes back like an hour later. She has another question. Says hi again, and that was it. So, could have been a lot worse. Could have been hurt. She could have been hurt. Damages could have been done, but all in all, it's just been an interesting last 24 hours. So, I've talked enough. I really wanted to talk and blab a lot here at the beginning because I felt kind of bloated. Just because I'm eating a lot more food before the gym. I got it in timely, but I usually feel a little bit bloated after taking my pre-workout because I don't sip on it. I just down it. So it sits there for a little bit, but I feel better now. Let's throw on my sleeves. Let's get warmed up and we'll see what we can get up to on Circus Dumbbell. So I'm halfway through my sets right now. The dumbbell is a little bit hit or miss. My cleans suck. They're really bad. It's just beating the crap out of my forearms. It's just the dumbbell itself is giving me issues. This bell is a little bit bigger. It's probably like 14 inches or something, but the handle's bigger, but there's not much space in between the bells. But the thing that's really messing me up here, and it's throwing my positioning all off when I get things wrong, it's bent slightly. So whenever I get that bent part kind of laying on me, like it's down, not up, it is really digging into my forearm more than it is my my hand. So my hand isn't like super flush with the dumbbell whenever that's happening. So it's all driving through my forearm, which isn't right. That's not supposed to happen. So that's why some reps just look out of place, because the positioning's all off. But I can't like physically turn the dumbbell on my shoulder to make it work. So I'm just I'm going with the flow. So I want to do another set at that. I got a little wobbly there at that last rep, made me a little bit nervous actually. But I want to do one more set at 205 just to see. I want to make it better. I don't plan on winning this event because I know there's some just crazy good dumbbell pressers there, but I would like to at least get a few reps. I really don't know what's even going to be good. It's tough to say. So, but this is not a bad place to be. So I'm going to talk less and lift more. So let's do it again. We'll do a set and then we'll chat. Those reps were okay. There towards the end, I started trying to implement kind of I guess you'd call it a push jerk, kind of. Like you push, like a push press, and then you kind of drop underneath it. I will admit a pretty poor attempt at it, but I mean, you don't I would say maybe I would have to watch another Lucas Hatton circus dumbbell video. But pretty much almost anybody else I've seen that is very good at circus dumbbell, they do some sort of push jerk. They'll dip, drive, and kind of drop underneath it. So I think Lucas Hatton just kind of throws it up and it's there. His legs are so stupid strong, he doesn't need to do that push jerk. I'm talking specifically like Mateusz Kieliszkowski, Alexei Novikov. What's that other guy's name? Robin Grekov. Him. I think it's David Shame is another one. There's I forget the guy's first name. It might be Josh. I could be really wrong about that, but it's like Pataka. I just watched that guy attempt like 151 kg dumbbell. That's insane. If I had to guess, there's 5 people in the world that have even tried that. And I think he does a technique like that. So in order to I have a point to make about techniques from really good guys. So give me a second. Do this set real quick. So you always hear a lot of people, like coaches. Sometimes I'll say it. I think bad coaches say this. They'll be like, I saw Brian Shaw do it this way, or I saw Eddie Hall do it this way, and coaches are like, well, you're not those guys. And I'm like, of course not, but those guys are some of the best of all time. Why would I not want to try to do things similar to the way they did it? Like, they're doing something right. Now, I understand that there's a lot of, different body types, leverages, whatever. But even if you apply to like other sports, like baseball, like if you see, like Aaron Judge is like hitting coach, if you know who Aaron Judge is, which I assume you do if you're into any sort of, mainstream sport. Like his coach, or his batting coach that I've seen him work with, is some people like to trash his style. And I'm like, why would you do that when he's literally the hitting coach for Aaron Judge? It looks odd, but like, it obviously works. No. Now, I'm not saying, copying these great guys, is guaranteed to work. I'm just saying maybe they're onto something and it's worth looking into. Because, like, when I learned to press, I watched Eddie Hall press. That's who I saw pressing. So I wanted to press like Eddie Hall. That's kind of the best thing. That's like the best way I could explain that. So I see all these good guys doing dumbbell this way. Why would I not want to try dumbbell in the same way? Some people be like, you're not that guy. You're not that person. You're not Alexei Novikov. I'm like, no, but he was, I don't know if he is now, but he is one of the best in the world at dumbbell. Don't you think it's worth looking into doing a technique similar to his? I never really understood that mentality. I wish my left nostril just does not work. It just doesn't. Even with these on, every now and then it's clear, but like, that one's okay, but kind of struggling here tonight. I don't feel bad. I didn't sleep as much as I should have last night. Like that's on me. But to be fair, if I had managed to fall asleep prior to the electric coming back on, and I would have slept the whole night without my CPAP, I could feel worse. So I got less sleep, but it was probably more quality sleep, so trade-offs. Oh, and something else I realized before I do this last set here. I thought that when I was doing the dumbbell that my arms were hurting here because I was like holding it here. And then I realized very quickly, it's on the clean. My forearms are digging into the side of the dumbbell and I'm like hoisting it with my forearms. I don't know how to grab the dumbbell quite, like what the best way is. Like, do I overlap my fingers? Do I space them in between? Do I grab? I don't know what's best. I'll have to look up I'm gonna look up a circus dumbbell video. I'm sure Hatton might have one a while back on his channel. Because he's the best, in my opinion. Well, that's not even fair statement because he doesn't have the record, so I can't say he's the best. I'd say he has potential to be the best. But I said it from the start, that dude could hold every record in the overhead press if he wanted it. I actually listened to his podcast last night. He was saying he wants to hold them all. So I don't see any problem with that. So just got to have the opportunity and the make it fit with the schedule. So, all right, last set here. Ooh. All right, on to floor press, I think. Please. All right. Ow. I need to remove those deadlift hooks. I never use them. Anyway, I just finished up. Still a little bit out of breath from the arm over arm rope standy climby thingy. Not a bad session. Not a great session, not a bad session. Out of everything in this show, well, I don't know. I was going to say circus might need the most work, but it's hard to say that when I haven't really done kegs. I haven't really done kegs all that much. I think I've had a keg in a show once, and it was, I didn't get to it because it was part of like a loading medley, and that was the worst show I had. I still think about it. So, kegs, I don't know. Generally speaking, I think I'm okay at loading stuff, so I don't know, but it's a familiarity thing. I'm not super familiar with them, so, but I've seen plenty of videos. I think I can replicate, so Circus, it's a tough event in general. And then the arm over arm, like the hoist thing, that's going to be a little bit interesting. It's kind of an unknown. I don't know if it's next week or I think it might be next week. We actually start kind of trying to replicate that to a degree. This is not terribly far off, I suppose. But it's the way this is programmed is I'm supposed to be completely limp. Like my legs are supposed to not be in use while I'm standing up, and I'm trying not to, but I think it's hard to not use them a little bit. Whereas when you do the hoist, it's actually going to be, all that weight. That weight is not sentient. It is not trying to help you pull it up. It will fight you every step of the way. So I don't really know. But I'm excited for the challenge. So I'm tired. I don't know. I expected to have a little bit more energy today. I don't feel a lack of energy. Tonight's more of a lack of motivation because I was just, circus hurts. It's frustrating. So that's just my own fault. I need to get my head in the game. We'll try to make up for it next week. It's crunch time. I mean, we are less than a month out. So I can't be goofing around. I can't be, I can't be thinking that way. It's got to be do your best 24/7 when it comes to this point of prep. Not that it's not earlier, and I always say that, but it's this is crunch time. This is where the biggest weights are going to be moved. This is where where you're going to get a feel for what you're to expect on comp day. So not a bad lift. Off day tomorrow, and then Saturday. I think we're supposed to have a couple buddies come out, and they're going to train with me. They're not doing America's Strongest Man or anything. They're just coming to train. I don't know what they're going to train, but we'll see. I got whatever they want. So, but I was supposed to work that morning, so we'll see. I try to get more sleep, get some food in before we go, and have some fun with it. So, until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.